Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Aaron Wilson for Inside the 49. I come to you today with some great news, as you might have seen from our YouTube short already and on Twitter as well. Debbo is back, so that is great news for the 49ers. I've been talking to friends and family about what's going on with Debbo and all this drama that's going on the last couple months, and I was really content on the fact that he was coming back. So I'm really happy to see that he's back at mandatory training camp and he's out there for us, and I can't wait to see him on the field. And this is really great news for us. So this is a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit about the wide receiver group. We talked about the cornerback group in the last video. If you hadn't had a chance to check that out, make sure you are subscribed to the channel for Inside the 49 and also turn on notifications to get those notifications for the new videos. So please check that out. So we want to talk about the wide receiver room. It's a really solid room now that we got Debbo back. So first off, you got Debbo, which is obviously, all world, plays all over the place, does running back, does wide receivers, and slides at the X wherever we need him. He's really one of the best wide receivers in the league, no doubt about it. So we got him, obviously, A++ there. And the rest of that group is solid at the top, and then a lot of question marks after that. So number 2 in that group is going to be Brandon Aiyuk. He had a nice, solid year last year for the 49ers, and has done really well since he's been drafted. I know when he was originally drafted, I wasn't really aware of what he brought to the table, but he's definitely surprised and excelled in that group. So that tandem is one of the best 1-2 punches in the league, no doubt about it. So the question is, what's going on after that? So we're going to break down all the wide receivers that are really in camp, and what we want to see is the potential for who can really pull out one of those top 6 spots that's going to be making the roster. So you got Debbo and Aiyuk, they are locks. You got Jauan Jennings, who's also a lock. He really came up big last year for the 49ers, especially on the third down situations. He definitely was a reliable target, so hopefully he can be that big slot, continue to be that number 3 wide receiver. But he's going to have a little bit of competition for that 3 wide receiver in terms of reps with Danny Gray, who they drafted this year in the draft. And there's Danny Gray. Danny's going to be that speedster. He's really going to be the guy who takes the top off the defense. I did a lot of that last year. I really see Danny Gray jumping into that spot, splitting time across a bunch of different positions, but really taking the top off the defense. I think that's how Shanahan sees him. He's definitely going to be a lock since he was drafted so high for the 49ers. And then the 4th lock that I really see, and the only other lock in my mind, is going to be Ray-Ray McCloud. So we want to talk a little bit about Ray-Ray a little bit. He's got $1 million salary. He got almost $1 million, almost $900,000 in a roster bonus and a signing bonus. So he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to be helping out the 49ers. Let's look at his stats a little bit. So if you look at his stat, we're using Pro Football Reference. So the biggest thing that sticks out to you with Ray-Ray is not his reception yards. So last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had 39 receptions for 277 yards, which is, solid, decent numbers for wide receiver. But what really sticks out is the kickoff and punt returns. So he's definitely going to be the guy for kickoff and punt returns. That's the main reason that they signed him in my mind, and to get a little bit of reps on the wide receiver side. So what I thought was interesting for him is the fact that he is elite the last 2 years. So he actually made it to the All-Pro team as a kick returner in 2020, and he's been in the top 5 in punt returns for the past 2 years. So if you scroll on down here on Pro Football Reference, we're going to go down to the leaderboard. All right, so in the leaderboard, you're looking at punt returns, and he's had 2 seasons in the top 10 in terms of the amount of punt returns. So last year, he was number 1 in punt returns with 38 punt returns. And then if you look at punt return yards, he was also number 1 with 367 yards. So that's a great way for the 49ers to be able to switch the field up. We really haven't had somebody that's been really electric. I believe Richie James was at times, but didn't get the reps that should have, in my opinion. But so we have somebody back there now who's going to be the punt returner, who's going to be the kick returner. So again, he was number 1 in yards. He was number 1 in combined kick and punt return yards. So he's going to be that special teams guy. And again, like I said before, in 2020, he was an all-pro kick returner. So that's going to be what you get out of Ray-Ray McCloud. All right, so going back to the rest of the wide receiver group, again, there's your five in my mind. You got Debbo, you got Aiyuk, you got Jennings, you got Danny Gray, and you got Ray-Ray McCloud. So those are going to be your five. The question is the fight for the number 6 spot. Now, last year they kept 6 wide receivers, and then who's going to be the 2 guys or so, roughly 2 guys that are going to make the practice squad? So that's the question. So there's a bunch of guys that are really fighting for these positions, and they're all guys that really don't have a ton of experience. So those are your top 5. Getting number 6 is Malik Turner. Malik Turner had a little bit of a roster bonus. Potential roster bonus is $25,000. He's a special teams guy. He's going to be playing on special teams. In 2021, he had 12 receptions for 149 yards, or nothing amazing, but he does have some experience in the league, primarily on special teams. So that's Malik Turner. Next is we actually got 2 Johnsons. All right, so we got KeeSean Johnson, and then we have Marcus Johnson. So those are the 2 players that we're looking at. Let's look at KeeSean Johnson for his numbers real quick. So if we go back to Pro Football Reference, let's go to KeeSean. There we go, KeeSean Johnson. So Arizona, with Arizona for 2 years, really light stats. 21 receptions for 187 in his rookie year, 15 receptions for 173 in his second year, and then he was on the Philly practice squad for his 3rd year. Let's blow this up a little bit. I apologize. See that a little bit better for you guys. All right, so that's KeeSean Johnson. All right, let's go to Marcus Johnson. So Marcus Johnson's been jumped around a couple different teams. He came in with Philly originally, didn't do much his first year, didn't do much his second year. When he went to Indianapolis, was with Indianapolis for 3 years. Had 17 receptions for 277, and then 14 receptions for 255 in 2019, 2020. And then he's with Tennessee and only had 9 receptions for 160. So, he's a journeyman guy. The question is he going to be able to stick? Is he going to be able to do a lot? The third guy, the next guy that's really fighting for a position in that group is going to be Austin Mack. So Austin Mack played for the Giants last year. Didn't actually play, was on the squad last year, and then in 2020 he only had 7 receptions for 91 yards. So again, it's all about potential with these guys, and what can they do? What can they bring to the table that's going to be unique? Is it Malik Turner is going to win that spot for his special teams experience, or do you want to take a shot at seeing what either KeeSean or Marcus Johnson can do? I doubt Austin Mack has a shot of making it, but you never know for that spot. All right, so the next 2 guys we want to talk about are undrafted free agents. So the big one by undrafted free agent standards is going to be Tay Martin. Now, Tay Martin is out of Oklahoma State. He got a little bonus of $2,800, so a little bit of money to come. He was second team All Big 12 last year with 80 receptions for 1,046 yards. So he put up solid numbers. He was in college for 5 years, transferred to Oklahoma State after his second year. And then after that, he didn't end up getting drafted. So he's undrafted, but he's definitely got something to prove at this level. So can a guy like him step up and be that guy that makes the roster? Definitely. He's definitely got a legit chance. The other undrafted free agent is Taysir Mack. Taysir Mack was with Pittsburgh, right from Pittsburgh last year. He had 27 receptions for 461 yards and 3 TDs. So nothing that wows you besides this nice little Odell catch here. But again, I'm a big undrafted free agent guy. I feel like they have really the fight in them, and if they can make it on the roster, you can really see a lot out of those guys. So again, let's go back and recap. So we're 5 strong right now. Well, really 2 strong, right? You got Deebo and Aiyuk, strong, right? You got Jennings stepped up last year, right? I also consider him a strong player. You got Danny Gray as a rookie. You're not sure what you're really going to get from him. Hopefully that speed of that 4-3 will show up in the NFL, and he'll be able to take the top off the defense for Shanahan and help Deebo and Aiyuk working those underneath routes. You got Ray-Ray McCloud, who's going to be your special teams guy. All right, there's your 5. Right. Then the next question is, what's going to happen? Is it Malik Turner for special teams? Is it KeeSean Johnson or Marcus Johnson be able to step up, or Austin Mack be able to step up, or is it undrafted free agents and Tay Martin or Taysir Mack? That's pretty much what the wide receiver group looks like. It's strong on the top and a little bit questionable after that. So the great news is we got Debbo back. So that's amazing. That makes this wide receiver group look really strong. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of it figures out. And I'm really interested to see how well Ray-Ray McCloud plays at special teams. I feel like something that we've been lacking on that side for the past couple of years, and hopefully he can provide that spark and help us change the field with possession. So that is my recap for the wide receiver group, and I will be doing some more groups as well. So if you have any groups you're interested in us doing videos on, please throw it in the chat. And as always, go Niners. See ya.